1. When Martin Luther refused to take back his statements against the teachings of the Church, he was excommunicated. But Luther responded by tearing up the official letter from the Pope and burning it. The conflict this started has lasted ever since. 2. Who are Protestants? Protestants are people who belong to the religious groups that broke away from the Catholic Church in the 1500s, or from churches that formed from those groups later on. 3. The word Protestant was first used for people who protested against a decision made at the Second Diet of Speyer in 1529. Later, it became a general name for all reformers who opposed Catholic teachings. 4. Even today, the King of England uses the word in his coronation oath, where he says, "I declare that I am a faithful Protestant." 5. In the 1500s, the Protestant Reformation began. It led to many new religious groups and divided Christians for centuries. Martin Luther, an Augustinian monk from Erfurt, became upset because he felt unrecognized in Rome. In 1517, he began to argue against the Church's teaching on indulgences. 6. The Pope ordered Luther to take back his ideas. When Luther refused, he was excommunicated in 1520. His teachings spread quickly through Germany and caused religious wars. Peace finally came with the Peace of Augsburg in 1555. 7. The Council of Trent met from 1545 to 1563 to explain clearly what the Church teaches and to correct misunderstandings. At that time, many people had very little religious education and did not know Church doctrine well. 8. Some of Luther's errors included that the Church has no supreme teaching authority, that political rulers can control Church matters, that the Bible alone is the guide to faith, that everyone should interpret the Bible individually, that faith alone saves, that priesthood gives no special spiritual mark, that everyone can be a priest, that penance is not a sacrament, that the Mass gives no grace, and that purgatory does not exist. 9. At first, Protestantism spread quickly. Entire countries adopted it under their rulers. In Switzerland, Zwingli and Calvin helped it grow, and in England, Henry VIII led his nation away from Rome. Soon, many different kinds of Protestantism appeared. 10. Today, the many divisions within Protestantism are well known. Many Protestants are returning to the Catholic faith, while the Church continues to grow even as Protestant groups split into more branches. 11. Protestant churches can be placed into 3 groups. 12. First, some churches believe they must trace their roots back to the apostles. They believe in a priesthood set up by Christ to offer sacrifice and administer sacraments. High Church Episcopalians are in this group. 13. However, High Church Episcopalians deny that their line of bishops was broken when they separated from the Catholic Church. Because of this break, their orders are not valid, and they cannot have true sacraments except baptism and matrimony. Pope Leo XIII officially declared Anglican orders invalid in 1896. 14. Second, some Protestant groups reject the idea that all religions are the same, but they have no central hierarchy. They require new members to study their beliefs, and they use the Bible as their only rule for faith. Some accept the Apostles' Creed and teach salvation by faith alone. Lutherans, and some Methodist and Episcopal groups, belong here. 15. Third, some groups focus mainly on accepting Christ as a personal Savior. They usually believe baptism is necessary, though some do not. They say every Christian should belong to a church for practical and spiritual reasons, but they believe all churches are equally good. This includes many Baptists, Presbyterians, Disciples of Christ, and Congregationalists. 16. People sometimes say the Catholic Church is only for the uneducated. Maybe, but the long list below shows many highly intelligent and talented writers who freely chose to become Catholic as adults. 17. The Catholic Church is for the uneducated and the educated. It is for everyone, no matter a person's race, background, or level of schooling. In the Church, as St. Paul said, there is not Gentile and Jew, slave and freeman, but Christ is all and in all. Col 3:11. Christ came to save all people, and the Church is his living voice. We should listen and follow. 18. List of writers converted to Catholicism. These are examples of many famous people who joined the Catholic Church after careful thought and study.